Anomalous Item 20224 is a series of 8 DVD-Rs containing unedited footage of an apparent nature documentary, collectively labeled as Documentary 23. The picture and sound quality of the footage is substandard, with audiovisual distortions, cuts, and missing footage common throughout the recordings. The discs will play on any standard DVD player, and the contained footage has been copied and archived. No anomalous effects have been recorded regarding the discs themselves or the act of watching them. While the possibility of a hoax exists, such an undertaking would require several $1 million to produce equivalent special effects. Anomalous Item 20224 was recovered from on July 16th, 2000. The previous owner was unaware of the object's origins, claiming to have received them through an anonymous seller on the internet. Anomalous Item 20224 is currently stored in Low Security Vault 2 of Site 19. The following transcript lists only a general overview of major events of note. Disc 1. Disc starts. The scene shown resembles the Serengeti Plain. A large group of wildebeests, gazelles, zebras, and other savanna wildlife are shown around a watering hole. The voices of the filmmakers are heard for the first time. 3 distinct voices are heard, 1 female, 2 male, subjects 1, 2, and 3 respectively. The language spoken does not correlate with any known language and has only been partially decoded. The subjects seem to be describing the waterhole scene as the camera focuses on the drinking animals. Narration of this kind continues throughout most other segments of Anomalous Item 20224. Subjects 1 and 3 appear on camera. Both are wearing similar outfits. Utilitarian clothing in various shades of brown with backpacks for carrying equipment and supplies. For unknown reasons, the subjects' faces have been blotted out. Documentary shifts focus to a nearby termite mound. The next 34 minutes and 6 seconds of tape contains no anomalous or otherwise notable content. First anomalous content scene. At this point in the documentary, focus is set upon a small bird, which on closer inspection is clearly a blue jay. The bird displays no physical anomalies besides being native to North America, not Africa. Blue jay flies away. During the filming, the subjects did not seem to find the presence of a non-native bird confusing or remarkable. The next 19 minutes and 55 seconds of tape contain no anomalous or otherwise notable content. All animals featured showed no unusual characteristics or behaviors. Disc 2. Scene shows a series of rocky foothills at the base of a mountain chain to the west. Scrub vegetation is common. Camera focuses on a snake in the brush, identified as a western diamondback rattlesnake. Subject 3 grabs the snake by the tail and uses a stick to handle it for the camera as Subject 1 narrates. The snake is released. Next shot is the middle of a segment on a large ant colony. The ants are a light shade of blue. Camera focuses on a group of roughly 50 soldier ants attacking a reef gecko, which is native to Florida. Ants are tearing away chunks of flesh with their pincer-like jaws. The gecko survives for nearly a minute before one of the ants cuts the gecko's jugular vein. Scene is now focusing on a pack of vultures feeding on the carcass of a large Bactrian camel. The camel stands up and attempts to bite a vulture. The remains of the camel's internal organs are dangling from a hole in its abdomen. There are no visuals for the next 10 minutes and 45 seconds. Sound is in the form of 5 individual narrations on unknown subjects. Cut. Camera focuses on a red panda drinking from a shallow stream. The creature is estimated to be roughly the size of a Kodiak bear. The red panda leaves the shot, but not before defecating on the stream's edge. Subject 1 makes a comment, followed by laughter from subjects 2 and 3. Disc 3. Scene opens with Subject 2 in mid-sentence, pointing the camera at a snowy cliffside roughly 100 to 150 meters tall. Subjects are seen wearing mountain climbing gear, and appear to be discussing the best way to ascend the cliff face. Subjects begin ascending the cliff side. The following footage is a shot of the horizon from 2/3 up the cliffside. The savanna featured in Disc 1 can be seen in the distance. Subject 2 is startled by the sudden appearance of a large, indistinct creature, believed to be a flying fox or a similar large bat, and nearly drops the camera. Subject 3 scolds him while Subject 1 laughs. Cut. Subjects are at the top of a cliff looking out over the edge. Judging by the shadows cast by the mountain, it is nearing mid-afternoon. Cut. Scene takes place later in the day near sundown. Subjects are walking up a winding dirt path. A small village can be seen ahead of them. Subjects arrive in the village. Buildings are small and stone with wooden roofs. There are no signs of recent habitation. Many of the buildings are in states of disrepair, and much of the village is covered in deep snowdrifts. Subjects walk through the village for the next 3 minutes and 40 seconds, conversing sporadically. No other life is seen. Subjects are now approaching a larger building, a large section of which has collapsed and filled with snow. Subjects 1 and 3 step inside first. Subject 2 follows with the camera 4 seconds later. Subjects are standing on top of a chunk of masonry. A large swarm of black insects. Analysis suggests that these creatures resemble terrestrial trilobites rather than any known insect. Each at least 30 centimeters in length, swarms around beneath them. Subject 3 opens his backpack, taking out a plastic box. Checking its contents once, he throws it across the hall. The swarm moves towards the box and begins consuming it. The camera lingers on the creatures as the subjects escape. Subjects are inside another building, and it is now night. The house's fire pit has been cleared out and a fire has been set up. Subject 1 is feeding a black-furred chinchilla some of her rations, while Subject 3 narrates. Disc 4. Subjects are walking through a thick forest of large fungal bodies. Judging by the slope of the ground, it is presumed that the subjects are descending the foothills on the opposite side of the mountain. Available light indicates that it is mid-morning or mid-afternoon. Movement is spotted to the right. Camera focuses on a dark shape moving deeper into the forest and out of sight. Analysis shows that the creature is a quagga, a relative of the zebra which has been extinct since 1883. One frame seems to show the creature unfurling wings, but the footage is too blurred to confirm this. Cut. Scene shows a stone pillar which has been partially eroded by encroaching hyphae. The pillar is clearly a marker of some sort, and Subject 1 is attempting to decode the symbols that are etched into it. Subject 1 now steps away from the pillar. Judging by her tone of voice, she was incapable of translating any of the symbols. Subjects move onward through the forest. There is a heavy seismic disturbance. The camera becomes unsteady as Subject 2 stumbles. The fungal trees can be seen to sway in uniform motion. The next 10 seconds contain no visuals or audible sound. Analysis has shown an ultrasonic note within the blank segment. As it does not vary in frequency, it is hypothesized to be artificial in origin. Cut. Subject 1 is now observing a large black beetle. Every few seconds she prods it with a twig. After she does this several times, the beetle flares its carapace outward, showing the brilliant orange-yellow coloration underneath. The beetle sprays a yellow-green fluid from its abdomen at Subject 1, who doesn't step away quick enough to avoid the acid. She shouts in pain and attempts to wipe it off. Subject 3 steps in to help her. Cut. Scene now shows a shallow gully populated by a species of cup-shaped fungi, the smallest being a meter across. Subject 2 sets the camera on a tripod and walks away. No unusual events are recorded over the next 14 minutes and 12 seconds. At 18 minutes and 14 seconds, a juvenile Javanese rhinoceros walks into the gully, sniffing the air. It makes a direct route towards one of the larger cup fungi and walks inside. The cup closes over it, and sounds of distress are heard from within after a few seconds. The silhouette of the rhinoceros inside the fungus can be seen as it struggles to free itself. Disc 5. Scene shows the subjects on the shores of a lake. Local geography resembles the American Southwest, with thick scrub vegetation and several clumps of tamarisk on the lakeshore. Subject 3 is filling a canteen from the lake. Subject 3 points out a disturbance behind the camera. Camera turns to see a group of about 15 lemur-like creatures emerging from the brush, roughly 20 meters away. Camera zooms in to show that they are walking on their hind legs and are carrying sharpened sticks. The tribe ignores the presence of the subjects. The tribe begins to drink from the lake. Subject 1 makes a short narrative comment, showing some surprise at the event, but only enough to suggest that it is a rare find. She continues with the narration as usual. The tribe's lookout makes a startled yelp. The other lemurs take notice. A dinosaur of considerable size, believed to be an adult Utahraptor, appears. Subjects begin to run away. Sounds of the conflict can be heard over the subject's footsteps. Camera is directed back at the tribe. Lemurs have now either run away or been killed. The Utahraptor is feeding on the dead. Cut. Scene now shows the dinosaur dead on the ground with numerous bullet holes in its head and chest area. Subject 1 is scolding Subject 3, who was seen disassembling a long-barreled rifle. Cut. Subjects have walked down the eastern shore of the lake. There are some unusual disturbances in the water. This continues for the next 1 minute and 36 seconds. A megatherium, or giant ground sloth, which is seen to have 6 limbs instead of 4, approaches the lakeshore from the brush. After looking around the area, it bends down to drink. Disturbances in the water increase as a large creature emerges from the lake. As only the upper portion is visible, identification is difficult. A membranous dome, lined by numerous frills of skin and cartilage, is visible. The skin is semi-transparent, showing a bulbous structure underneath. Visible are several triple-jointed arms, 5 limbs have been counted, which have thick black fur and hands with 2 opposable thumbs. The unknown creature lashes its arms at the area behind the sloth, attacking a pack of raptors much like the one before, which were preparing to launch an attack on the sloth. Unknown creature grabs a raptor in one of its hands and throws it toward the subjects, who it misses by no less than a meter. Camera moves to look at the body. The spine has been snapped on impact. Cut. Subjects have left the lake behind and are now climbing over a short ridge. Animal noises can be heard from the other side. Disc 6. Video shows that the subjects are traversing a salt plain on foot. Sky is overcast and dark. No life can be seen anywhere. Subject 3 begins to speak. The conversation is casual and continues for the next 12 minutes without notable events. Cut. Conversation is still ongoing, though Subject 1's tone has become increasingly worried. Argument between Subjects 1 and 3 breaks out. Subject 2 steps in, attempting to break it up. Cut. Conversation has ended. Subjects appear weary. Distant thunder is heard in the background. The camera pans to show 2 unknown creatures. between 200 and 250 meters tall on the southern horizon. From a distance, they appear to be masses of cartilage and gas sacs at least 5 stories tall. Subject 1 speaks, but is interrupted by a low roar in the distance. The subjects look to the east, then at each other. Subject 3 speaks briefly, and the group resumes walking. Disc 7. Data lost. The disc has been overwritten with several episodes of the anime Cowboy Bebop. Closer inspection has shown several one-frame fragments of the original video that remain. A forest of crooked, leafless trees. Part of a bleached skeleton of unknown origin is seen in the corner of the frame. A shot taken within a small clearing containing 6 boulder-sized pearls which provide ambient light through unknown means. The clearing is within a dense formation of jagged limestone towers, known as Singi. 2 frames of a bloated, worm-like creature with 3 flexible proboscises covered in feathered tufts. A dark blue screen filled with complex mathematical formulae appearing in white Arabic numerals. The final segment lasts for approximately 3 seconds. The soundless footage is too shaky for any conclusive analysis, but it would appear that Subject 2 is running up a steep incline at substantial speed with the camera rolling. Static. Faint screams and gunfire can be heard beneath the white noise. A voice identified as Subject 2 can be heard shouting before being drowned out. Disc 8. Scene shows subjects slowly descending a rocky slope towards the bottom of a small valley. There is no plant life to be seen. There is a substantial amount of smog and dust in the air, giving a red-brown color to the sky. Camera focuses on the bottom of the valley, observing a large settlement. Shacks are constructed primarily of corrugated sheet metal and are built several layers thick. Some figures can be seen around the edges of the settlement. Subjects have reached the bottom of the incline and are standing roughly 10 meters from the edge of the slum. At this distance, the conditions within the settlement are seen in detail. The narrow spaces between shacks are lined with sewage and large patches of gray lichen or fungus. Roughly 20 inhabitants can be seen, though they pay no attention to the subjects. The inhabitants are human, and their appearance is consistent with the living conditions around them. They are filthy, dressed in rags, malnourished, and many sport deformities. They walk without any seeming purpose, noticing little, if any, of their surroundings. Subjects start walking slowly towards the settlement's edge. Inhabitants still show no signs of notice. One of the slum inhabitants, male with severe deformities, sharply turns his head to face the camera. Inhabitant begins running towards subjects. Inhabitant begins attacking subjects, screaming, "Let us go! Let us go, you sick fucks!" A mob has formed around the subjects, who attempt to fight them off. Camera is knocked out of Subject 2's hand and records the mob's feet for 7 seconds afterwards. Screams can be heard off screen. Disc ends.